Dear student, today we shall start diseases of respiratory system. So first of all, we shall try to develop a general concept about the disease of respiratory system. First of all, we shall try to know that what disease we have to study in coming lecture classes. So disease of respiratory system include some of the disease that are related with the infection, and in this respect we have to study the acute infectious disease, that is a very common disease known as pneumonia. So pneumonia is nothing but it is the infection of the lung parenchyma, especially a sinus, the part of the respiratory segment distal to the terminal bronchiole are inflamed, and that inflammatory involvement of this segment of respiratory system is known as pneumonia. So a long discussion will be on pneumonia. Another disease we have to study, that is chronic granulomatous inflammatory disease, and that is will be caused by a very common bacteria, very common disease in our part of the country, that is known as pulmonary tuberculosis, caused by the tuberculous bacilli. That is all of you know that the lung is the primary site for tuberculous infection. So pulmonary tuberculosis we shall study in very detail. Second part of the disease of respiratory system, that will be known as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, जिसको शॉर्ट टर्म में हम लोग यूज करते हैं COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So this disease include 4-5 disease that are included in COPD. These are chronic bronchitis, bronchial asthma, bronchoectasis, emphysema, and bronchiolitis. So these 4-5 diseases include in COPD. Again I repeat, chronic bronchitis, bronchial asthma, emphysema, bronchoectasis, and bronchiolitis. So this disease is known as COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. The main common feature in this disease is that there is somewhat either partial or complete obstruction in the respiratory passage, either due to the constriction, like in case of bronchial asthma, or due to the accumulation of exudative or mucous material in the respiratory lumen passage, and that may lead to the partial or complete obstruction in the respiratory passage, and which interfere the gaseous exchange, and your patient may suffer with the breathlessness, dyspnea. So this disease is known as COPD because they are associated with the obstructive lesion in the respiratory passage. So this is known as COPD. Another group of the disorders we will be studying, and that is known as restrictive lung disease. So the name clear that here in this group of the disorder, the main problem is that there is a restriction in the lung expansion capacity, meaning by the expansibility of the lung is going to reduce because of the sum of the fibrotic interstitial fibrotic changes in the lung parenchyma. So that may lead to the restriction in the lung expansion. So this disorder is known as restrictive lung disease. Here is no obstruction, here is restriction. So you must differentiate COPD from restrictive lung disease. And there are many causes of restrictive lung disease. There are many disorders are included in restrictive lung disease. If there is abnormality in the chest wall, or in the pleural disease, or even in the lung parenchyma interstitial component, if there is a disease that may be associated with the restriction in the lung expansion capacity. So in this respect we shall discuss in detail the one disease that are associated with the restriction, and that is associated with the inhalation of prolonged inhalation of the dust particle like coal dust, fumes, gas. So inhalation of the dust particle that may lead to the disease in the lung, and that is collectively known as pneumoconiosis. So different type of the exposure of the foreign particle like dust particle, carbon particle, silica particle, asbestos particle. So that inhalation in the lung parenchyma causes changes in the form of fibrotic nodule formation, and that may lead to the restrictive lung disease. So a long discussion, a detailed discussion will be on pneumoconiosis, that is associated with the inhalation of the various type of the dust particle. So that is restrictive lung disease. Again, we shall proceed and we shall try to discuss the disease related to the vascular component of the lung. So any changes in the blood vascular component of the lung parenchyma may lead to the various type of pathological changes and disease. So in this respect, we shall try to study pulmonary hypertension. Subsequently, we shall discuss the adult respiratory distress syndrome, that is another disease that is associated with the inhalation of the ingestion of the aspiration material, and that may lead to the acute or chronic respiratory failure even. So that will be a medical emergency. So that will be discussed. And last, we shall discuss the tumor of the respiratory system, especially lung tumor. So these are the disease we have to discuss in coming lecture classes. So infectious disease, pneumonia, tuberculosis, COPD, chronic bronchitis, bronchial asthma, emphysema, bronchiectasis, bronchiolitis. In restrictive lung disease, we have to discuss pneumoconiosis. Pulmonary vascular disease, we have to discuss pulmonary hypertension and adult respiratory distress syndrome, and lastly the tumors of respiratory system, especially bronchogenic carcinoma, lung tumor. And if the time allows, we shall discuss some of the pleural disease also, that is in the last segment. So these are the disease are the important disease, not all disease, but important disease we have to discuss in coming lecture class. Now come to the some general aspect about the respiratory disorders. So before going to discuss or study the disease of respiratory system, you must know the sum of the normal aspect, normal anatomical aspect, normal histological aspect, normal physiological aspect of respiratory system, because it will be very, very necessary to understand the etiopathogenesis or morphological or pathological changes in the different disease in coming lecture classes. So you must know some, not detail, but some of the normal aspect of the respiratory system. So just you have already studied, but just try to recall which is essential for studying the disease. Normally, all of you know the fact that the respiratory system starts from the bifurcation of the trachea, and it is bifurcated into two main bronchus, right main bronchus and left main bronchus. All of you know this fact, where it is bifurcated at the level of angle of Lewis or second intercostal space, where it is trachea is divided. And all of you know that the right main bronchus is slightly more vertical than left main bronchus, and that is why it may lead to the causing of aspiration of foreign particle or material in the right side more commonly affected than left side because of the vertical nature. You must know that this main bronchus divided into mainly 8 division and convert into bronchioles, and this bronchiole again undergo 3 to 4 division into the terminal bronchiole. Terminal bronchiole again subdivided into 3 to 5 generation and go into develop into respiratory bronchiole. Respiratory bronchiole extend in the form of alveolar duct, and lastly the structural and functional component of the respiratory system, that is the lung parenchyma in the lung, that is alveolar sac or alveoli. So this is the main respiratory segment: main bronchus, bronchiole, terminal bronchiole, followed by respiratory bronchiole, followed by alveolar duct, followed by alveolar sac or alveoli. So this is the normal anatomical segment of our respiratory system. The last component, the part of the respiratory segment which is located distal to the terminal bronchiole, that is known as a sinus. So a sinus include three main structure. कौन? Respiratory bronchiole, alveolar duct and alveolar sac or alveoli. So these three segments is collectively known as a sinus, and this is a very important site for the different disease of respiratory system, especially in emphysema. This segment is very commonly affected, and in also pneumonia this segment is very commonly affected. कौन सा? That is the acinar part of the respiratory system, which include the distal part of the terminal bronchiole, meaning by the three main part: respiratory bronchiole, alveolar duct and alveolar sac or alveoli. So this is the normal anatomical pattern. So far the histology is concerned, the main bronchus, if we cut section and try to study in the microscope, the transverse section shows that there is a lumen, and lumen is followed by from the inward to outward. अगर हम लोग अंदर से बाहर की तरफ चलें तो पहले हम लोग को एक lumen मिलेगा. It is followed by a lining epithelium. All of you know the lining epithelium of respiratory system. What is this? It is pseudostratified tall columnar ciliated columnar epithelium. Pseudostratified tall ciliated columnar epithelium is the lining epithelium, followed by there is submucous layer which contains the blood vessel. Followed by the epithelium is followed by the mucous membrane, mucosa, followed by submucosa, and the submucosa contains the various mucus secreting gland, some of the neuroendocrinal cell, that is argentafin cell, and that is followed by the muscular layer, and muscular layer, that is the smooth muscle is present, and the last external layer is known as cartilage. So in the bronchus, if you go from inward to outward, पहले क्या मिलेगा? Lumen, followed by epithelium, followed by mucus layer, followed by submucosa, mucosa के बाद muscular layer, that is the smooth muscle layer, and that is cartilage. Last one is cartilage. But you must know that when in the distal part of the respiratory segment, meaning by in the bronchial part, the cartilage is absent. In the alveoli, cartilage is absent. Mucus secreting glands are also absent in the bronchial part. But the normal histological pattern is like this. Is seen. So when there is a disease in the bronchial part, or in case of bronchiolar part, there will be some of the histological changes will be seen. Histopathological or morphological changes will be seen in the different histological components. Some changes will be seen in the epithelium, some of the in the mucosa, in the submucosa, in the muscular layer. So that changes signify the various type of the disease. Like all of you know that in the bronchial asthma, the smooth muscles are very commonly affected. In the chronic bronchitis, the mucus secreting gland layer, mucus secreting glands are very much hyperplastic. So different type of pathological changes will be seen in the different disease, in the different histological components. So you must know this histological picture, because it will be very necessary to understand the pathological changes in the different type of respiratory disease. Another important fact, like in the distal part, that is the alveolar part where the gaseous exchange takes place, here there is single layer of the epithelium. There is single layer of the epithelium is seen, There is no mucus secreting gland, no cartilage, and none ciliated Calera cell is seen in this layer. That is the cell that is contains lysozyme immunoglobulin known as Clara cell, that is present in the alveolar part of the respiratory system. And the most important histological part, anatomical part is alveolar septa or alveolar wall, where the gaseous exchange takes place. So this is the very important part, because here the gaseous exchange takes place. The oxygenated blood will be exchanged. So this alveolar septa or alveolar wall composed of mainly three layers. The first one is that is द कैपिलरी इंडोथीलियम, ब्लड वेसल का पार्ट रहेगा। तो ब्लड वेसल का जो वाल रहेगा उसका जो लाइनिंग इपिथीलियम होगा वो कैपिलरी इंडोथीलियम होगा, पल्मोनरी वेसल का इंडोथीलियम होगा। फॉलोड बाय द बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन, एंड द बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन हैज गॉट इंटरस्टिशियम टिश्यू. This interstitial tissue is a supporting tissue and contain collagen fiber, elastin fiber, fibroblast, some of the smooth muscle, some mast cell, some mononuclear phagocytic cell. They are present in the interstitium. And last, the third segment will be alveolar epithelium. Alveolar epithelium, that the cell lining cell of the alveoli, that is known as pneumocyte. So these are the three component of alveolar septa or alveolar wall. कौन कौन? कैपिलरी इंडोथीलियम, followed by the basement membrane, followed by the along with the interstitial tissue, and there is alveolar epithelium, that is known as pneumocyte. So these three components collectively made the alveolar septa, where the gaseous exchanges takes place. Now the pneumocyte, again it is of two type. All of you know this fact. There are type 1 pneumocyte, that is the most commonly present. 95% of the pneumocyte are type 1 membranous pneumocyte, and another is known as type 2 pneumocyte, that is known as only 5%, but they can capacity to convert into type 1 pneumocyte when needed. But the most important function of type 2 pneumocyte is that it produces a chemical active substance that is known as surfactant with lecithin, and that surfactant lowers the surface tension of alveolar lining cell and maintain the structural integrity of the alveoli. So this is the function of surfactant. So this is very important, and if it is deficient by any cause, that may lead to the collapse of the alveoli, and so that is known as atelectasis. And last one, there is in the lung parenchyma, there is a presence of mononuclear phagocytic cell as well as macrophages are seen. So this is the normal anatomical and histological structure of a respiratory system, and that is very very essential to understand the pathogenesis, the pathological changes in the different respiratory disease. So you must know the function. All of you know the function of respiratory system is, main function is what? That is the gaseous exchange, meaning by the entry of oxygen and coming out of the carbon dioxide, that will be going to happen in the alveoli, and this is the main function. So this is the normal physiological function of our respiratory system. Another important component that you must understand, that you know this fact that the lung and heart both are very important structure. They are very anatomically and physiologically they are very much interrelated. दोनों स्ट्रक्चर बहुत जुड़ा हुआ रहता है. So there may be chance that the pathological or disease of the lung can involve the heart, and any disease in the heart can involve the lung also. So this is because of the anatomical and physiological relation between heart and lung. Just for example, that interstitial disease of the lung may lead to the right heart involvement, right heart hypertrophy or right heart failure. so that is known as cor pulmonale. तो cor pulmonale is very common complication in the COPD. COPD में जितना भी डिजीज है उसका एक बहुत कॉमन कॉम्प्लिकेशन है कि दैट में कॉज द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ द राइट साइड ऑफ द हार्ट in the form of either right side heart failure or hypertrophy, and that association, meaning by the disease of the lung that causes the involvement of the right side of the heart, it is known as cor pulmonale. So cor pulmonale is a very important complication. That term will be very repeatedly used in coming lecture class, so you must know the word cor pulmonale, meaning by the interstitial disease of the lung that causes involvement of the right side of the heart in the form of hypertrophy or failure. So this is cor pulmonale. ठीक, in the left side in the congestive heart failure, it is mainly to the pulmonary edema, so there may be chance of breathlessness and cyanotic attack, cyanosis. So the left side of the heart, if it is going to undergo failure or congestive heart failure or left heart failure, that may lead to the pulmonary edema that may involve the lung. So we are seeing that similarly the infection can spread from lung to heart or from the heart to in the form of thrombi or in the form of vegetation, it can involve the heart. So in this way, there is because of the anatomical relation, the different type of pathological changes can be seen in the heart or in the lung or in the both. So this is the very important complication which can be seen in disease of the respiratory system that can involve the heart also. You must know this fact. So these are the some of the important normal aspects. In the subsequent discussion, that is very commonly used when we shall study the different disease, that is the respiratory symptom. So there are some important symptoms or sign by which we are by seeing or observing or hearing the complaint from the patient, we conclude that the patient may suffer with the disease of respiratory system. So these symptoms are seen in almost all the disease of respiratory system, like the most common complaint, like in the form of cough. The cough, and this cough may be dry or even it is productive when it is associated with expectoration, meaning by the something in mucous material is coming out along with the cough. So cough with the expectoration is a very common and early symptom in the patient suffering from respiratory disease, especially in the chronic bronchitis. Cough with expectoration. Similarly, this cough may be associated with another symptom, that is the breathlessness. The sign, the complaint is breathlessness, symptom is breathlessness, and the sign is dyspnea. So breathlessness is a very common symptom, or dyspnea is a very common symptom or sign of respiratory system. But you must know that this breathlessness and dyspnea can be due to the disease of the cardiovascular system, like disease of the CCF or left ventricular hypertrophy failure. So that may be seen. So breathlessness is the second complaint. There may be the third main complaint that is seen in the respiratory disease, that is the chest pain. So patient generally suffering from respiratory disease may complain chest pain, which may be acute or which may be chronic. Acute chest pain along with the breathlessness, that can be seen in the pneumothorax or sometime in case of pneumonia. So this is another complaint. Another complaint that is seen in the respiratory patient suffering from respiratory disease, and that is the wheeze. There is some musical sound is produced through the chest wall, and that is known as wheeze. That is the whistling sound that is produced from the narrow bronchi, and that in the form of wheeze or rhonchi. So this wheeze is a very common and very important sign in the patient suffering from bronchial asthma. तो ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा के मरीज़ को हम लोग अगर स्टेथो लगाते हैं तो एक म्यूजिकल और विस्लिंग साउंड मिलता है, एंड दैट इज नोन एज व्हीज. सो व्हीज इज ए वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट साइन ऑफ ब्रोंकियल अस्थमा बिकॉज ऑफ द नैरोइंग ऑफ द ब्रोंकाई. Sometimes the patient suffering from respiratory disease that causes production of sputum, and that sputum is a very important finding in case of respiratory disease, sputum. And the sputum is examined in detail in the lab about their color, their consistency, their appearance, and their amount. So by noting all these things, we are very much this is very much helpful for the diagnosis of respiratory disease. Even the microscopic finding of the mucous material or sputum is very important for the diagnosis of different respiratory disease like bronchial asthma, like COPD, like pneumoconiosis, even the malignant disease. So a sputum examination is very important, and this sputum examination is done in 4-5 heading, like what is their amount. If the amount is very high, copious amount that is seen in the a disease known as bronchiectasis or lung abscess, the amount of sputum production is very copious in amount and foul smelling also. तो वहाँ अमाउंट का ही इम्पोर्टेंस है. कभी कभी कलर का इम्पोर्टेंस आता है. स्पुटम अगर काला कलर लिए हुए रहता है, निमोकोनियोसिस हम लोग सोच सकते हैं. अगर रेड है, अगर स्पुटम में ब्लड आ रहा है, तो वो भी एक अलग डिजीज दैट इज स्पेशली इन द पल्मोनरी ट्यूबरकुलोसिस और ब्रोंकाइटिस, और समटाइम इन द मैलिग्नेंट कंडीशन दिस कैन बी सीन. और समटाइम अपीयरेंस कैसा है, वाटरी है या म्यूकोइड है या म्यूकोपुरुलेंट है, ये सब हम लोग देखते हैं. उसका कलर देखते हैं, कंसिस्टेंसी देखते हैं, अपीयरेंस देखते हैं, अमाउंट देखते हैं, और सारे चीज़ को देख करके हम लोग कंक्लूड करते हैं कि कौन सा डिजीज़ से पेशेंट रेस्पिरेटरी डिजीज से सफ़र कर सकता है. तो स्पुटम इज़ ए वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट investigation or examination of sputum is very much helpful in the diagnosis of different respiratory disease. And another complaint or complication can be seen in the respiratory disease that is known as hemoptysis. So hemoptysis means that is the coughing out of blood. Blood is cough out. खांसी करने के साथ अगर ब्लड आ रहा है तो दैट इज नोन एज हिमेप्टेसिस, और वोमिटिंग के साथ ब्लड आ रहा है तो दैट इज नोन एज हिमेटिमेसिस. सो यू मस्ट डिफ्रेंशिएट द हिमेप्टेसिस एंड हिमेटिमेसिस. हिमेटिमेसिस मीन्स vomiting out, meaning by the problem the pathology is located in the GIT, whereas in hemoptysis there is coughing out of the blood. Blood is coming out through the cough material. So that is hemoptysis, meaning by the disease is located in the respiratory system. So that is the very important differential. You must know if the patient complains that blood is coming out, you must think whether it is from GIT in origin or respiratory in origin, और हिमेप्टेसिस है तो दैट इज़ द रेस्पिरेटरी, एंड यू मस्ट इन्वेस्टिगेट द डिफरेंट कॉजेज ऑफ हिमेप्टेसिस like pulmonary tuberculosis in our part of the country, or even in the malignant disorder, sometime in the chronic bronchitis, sometime in the bronchoectasis, sometime in the blood coagulation disorder. So there may be chance of hemoptysis. So if the patients complain hemoptysis, you must search out the causes. So these are the 4-5 sign and symptom. कौन कौन हुआ? cough with expectoration, with breathlessness, chest pain, wheeze, sputum and hemoptysis. These are the 5-6 sign and symptom of respiratory disease. So if the patient is suffering from respiratory disease, he may complain either cough, or sometime cough may be associated with breathlessness, it may be associated with the chest pain. या तो कोई एक सिंगल फीचर लेकर के ये कंप्लेन लेकर के पेशेंट आएगा, या हो सकता है 3-4 कंप्लेन लेकर के एक साथ आवे. तो देन वी शैल प्रोसीड फॉरवर्ड and try to examine the respiratory system, and then the examination of the respiratory system again go in the methodical way. You will be study in the medicine class and in the ward how the respiratory system is examined. So in the examination, I think all of you know that the respiratory system is examined under 4 heading. inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation. So in 4 heading, the respiratory system is going to examine and noting the history, hearing the complaint, noting the finding in the respiratory examination. On inspection, what are the finding? On palpation, what are the finding? On auscultation, what are the finding? On percussion, what are the finding? All findings should be correlated, and we shall go through methodical way and correlate all the finding, and then we are able to reach the diagnosis. So sometime we need some of the investigation also in the respiratory when we deal with the respiratory disease. So this investigation में अगर हम लोग देखते हैं कि हेमेटोलॉजिकल इन्वेस्टिगेशन करते हैं, कंप्लीट ब्लड काउंट कभी कभी हम लोग करते हैं, कभी कभी क्या रूटीनली करते हैं इफ़ द पेशेंट इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम रेस्पिरेटरी डिजीज. सो if the patient has got respiratory infection, the total count will be increased, there will be neutrophilia, leukocytosis. If the pulmonary tuberculosis, there will be lymphocytosis. If he is suffering from bronchial asthma, there will be eosinophilia, eosinophil count will be increased in case of bronchial asthma, pulmonary eosinophilia. So these are the findings can be seen in the blood examination. Chest X-ray is very important investigation to note the lung parenchyma, chest wall, mediastinum, cardiomegaly, heart size, even the pleural effusion or even pleural disorder. So chest X-ray is playing very important role in the diagnosis of respiratory disease. Pulmonary function test can be done to note the forced expiratory volume, total lung capacity, residual volume, vital capacity. ये सब का measurement करते हैं हम लोग because they are very much reduced in the COPD. So this is another important investigation. गैस एनालिसिस करते हैं, POT, PCOT करते हैं, स्पुटम एग्जामिनेशन करते हैं, और कभी कभी इको या CT स्कैन करते हैं when heart is going to involve or when you think about the malignant disorder, you must go for the CT scan to know the extent, origin and location of the tumor. So these are the some investigation we do in case of respiratory diseases. When we are dealing the disease of respiratory system, we note all these things. So by noting all these things, we are able to reach the diagnosis and then we start the treatment. So this is about this is all about normal aspect of respiratory disease. In the next class, we shall start the disease one by one, and the first disease that will be start with pneumonia. Till, thank you.